Hey guys, this is Fiverr. Welcome to the video leveling guide for my Frostblade Raider. As always, when I make these videos, they turn out a lot longer than I expect them to. And so what was meant to be one video turned out to be 3 videos instead. I don't think people would enjoy watching a 45-minute long video about how to level. So this first video is going to be about what skills to use and where to get them and when you get them and so on and so on. A little bit of other basic stuff as well. The second video is going to be about what items to use, and the third video is going to be about what passive skills to get and when to get them, in which order and all that. Yada yada yada, you get it. So let's get started. Now the first thing you want to do before you start playing your Frostblade Raider is start a Marauder. So the reason you want to do this is because Marauders get 2 skills that Raiders don't get until a lot later into the campaign. Those skills are Ruthless and Ancestral Protector. Ruthless is one of the support gems that we're going to be using with Frostblade later on, and Ancestral Protector is a totem that gives us attack speed while we have it active. It also hits nearby enemies, so you can always place it next to the boss, but it gives us good damage, extra damage versus bosses. Once you have these, you get the Ruthless right away in the first area, and you get the Ancestral Protector from doing the quest Breaking Some Eggs, which is in the Mud Flats, which is the 3rd area or so. So you get them really fast. Once you have these, then put them in your stash tab and start your Frostblade Raider. When you get to town as your Raider, you will get Frostblades straight away. So get Frostblades and equip it. You need to pick up the first melee weapon that you find basically, and you need to keep upgrading. It doesn't matter what type of weapon that you pick up. Frostblades can be used with any melee weapon, even staves or maces or whatever. So before we go into the support gems and where we find them and all of that, there are 3 skills that we're going to be looking out for throughout the game. And we want to get them as fast as possible, but they may be hard to get. So the first one is Vaal Double Strike. If you have Vaal Double Strike, you want to get this one as early as possible. This one, Vaal Double Strike, spawns 2 extra versions of yourself that will use the Double Strike skill. So it is incredibly strong versus bosses. The same goes for Vaal Haste and Vaal Ancestral Warchief, but you don't get those until Act 3. But you can get Vaal Double Strike right away. So save all the Vaal Orbs you find and use them on Double Strike gems to begin with. Do all the Vaal side areas, because even if you don't find the Vaal skills that we're looking for, then you can find other good Vaal skills and you can earn a few chaos by selling them early in the league, if you get the right ones. And I'm gonna go through what skills you get throughout the campaign, 1 act at a time. But first we're gonna go through the skill links that we're gonna have to our, the support links that we're gonna have with our Frostblades. So in Act 1 we will likely only have a 3 link. The skills that we're gonna be using with Frostblades is added cold damage and added fire damage. You don't get these skills until you kill Brutus, and before that you can use Onslaught, but when you get added cold and added fire, this is the 3 link that you're going to be using. Once you get to Act 2, you will get rage and elemental damage with attacks. So you're going to replace added fire damage and use this as your 4 link. Now I want to mention something that we get from Act 1, and we can use this one throughout the entire game, but you don't need to use it right away, which is Ancestral Call. Ancestral Call is a skill that you get from the 2nd quest that you do, which is the Mercy quest. And it is really good for clearing. So when you're fighting bigger packs or clearing maps, then Ancestral Call is very good. But versus single target, it lowers your damage. So You don't really need to use it while you are leveling, but you're going to use it later on, so put it in one of your items and make sure that it levels while you level. In Act 4, we're not going to get anything in Act 3 that we're going to be using with our frostblades, but in Act 4 we're going to get multi-strike once we are done with Act 4. And once you get multi-strike, you replace your added cold damage. So the 4 link is going to be frostblades, multi-strike, rage and elemental damage with attacks. Now, we get rage in Act 2, but we don't get berserk until later. And I think we get berserk in Act 6, but even without berserk, then rage is going to be really, really useful when you're leveling. Since when you're running through areas, you're going to be stacking up your rage charges, and most of the time when you reach a boss, then you're going to have maximum rage stacks, which is going to give you a lot of damage. Our 5 link and our 5 link later on, even if we don't get a 5 link during the campaign, then our 5 link is going to be frostblades, multi-strike, rage, elemental damage with attacks, and hypothermia. If you are clearing maps and you want more clear speed, you replace elemental damage with attacks for ancestral call instead. But for single target, the 5 link shown on the screen is the one that we're going to be using. As a 6 link, the final version is going to be frostblades, multi-strike, rage, elemental damage with attacks, and hypothermia. The last link is going to be ruthless or ancestral call. The same there. If you are fighting single targets like bosses, then you want ruthless. If you are clearing maps, then you want ancestral call. So let's move on to the skill gems that we're going to be finding during the campaign and when you get them. So in Act 1, we get Onslaught and Ancestral Call from the very second quest, the first quest after the town. You're gonna use Onslaught before you get added Fire and added Cold. In the mudflats, after doing the quest Breaking Some Eggs, you will get Dash. This is our movement skill until we get Whirling Blades. We get Whirling Blades after doing the Caged Brute, at the same point where we get added Cold and added Fire. We also get Precision at this point, and we're going to be using Precision right away, and we are going to keep it at level 1. The reason for this is it only costs 22 mana at level 1. And the higher you level it, the more it costs. So we want to keep this one at level 1. Once you get to Act 2, you will get Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder from doing the Intruders in Black quest. Now, we're not going to be using Herald of Thunder the entire game, but this early, when there's no other alternatives, then we could use Herald of Ash or something else, but Herald of Thunder is usually the one that I prefer. And Herald of Ice is something that we're going to be using the entire game. You also get Rage, faster attacks, and elemental damage with attacks after doing the Sharp and Cruel quest. The faster attacks is not going to be used with our Frostblades, but we're going to be using it with our Whirling Blades right now. We don't use faster attacks with our Whirling Blades later on, but right now we want to use faster attacks. Once you get to Act 3, you will do the quest Lost in Love, which is the one where you go to the crematorium and you help Tolman, is his name I think. When you talk to Clarissa and the dudes in town, whatever, you will get the Hatred, Assassin's Mark, and Haste skills. Now, the only one of these that we're going to be using right now is Hatred, and Hatred is going to be replacing Herald of Thunder. So our aura setup right now should be Hatred, Herald of Ice, and Precision, and that's what we're going to be using throughout the game. You also get Haste here, but I only listed Haste here because we're going to be using that one as the Vaal version of Haste. I should have used the Vaal version of Haste there, but it says Haste. Assassin's Mark is something we're going to be using later on as well, but you're likely not going to be using it a lot during the campaign, so you can buy it anyway. After doing the quest A Fixture of Fate, which is the quest that you help Sayosa, I think he's called, in the library. You help him find 4 golden pages, and then you can get a lot of skill gems. We want to do this because there are skills that we really need from this. One of them is Flame Dash. Flame Dash will be replacing Dash. So you're going to be using Flame Dash together with Whirling Blades. And Flame Dash is really, really good to have. Whirling Blades can't cross gaps or obstacles, but Flame Dash can. And we want to get Ancestral War Chief here as well, for the same reason with the Haste. This is when we can use Vaal, Ancestral War Chief, and Haste. We also get the Hypothermia from this one. We have to buy all of these, but we can buy all of these after we do this quest. So you want to get the Hypothermia and put that in one of your items and start leveling it. You also get Frost Bomb. We're not going to be using Frost Bomb this early, but we should have it because we're going to level it to around level 10 or so. In Act 4 we get Summon Ice Golem, and you might as well buy it right away. We are not going to be leveling it, so you don't have to buy it right away really, but you can buy it right away. After the act is finished, after you've done the Eternal Nightmare, which is when you kill... what's his name? Whatever, after you finish Act 4, you get Cast 1 Damage Taken, you get Multi-Strike, and you get Cast on Critical Strike. Now you want to be using Ice Golem together with your Cast 1 Damage Taken, and later on we want to get Immortal Call, but we don't get that one quite yet. Once you get Multi-Strike, you're going to use that one in your Frostblade setup. Cast on Critical Strike is for later. In Act 6, we get access to most of the skill gems that we want to be using. Immortal Call and Berserk are really the only ones that we're going to be buying from here. Berserk is something that you use together with Rage, and Immortal Call is something that we're going to have together with our Cast 1 Damage Taken setup. So our Cast 1 Damage Taken setup right now should be Cast 1 Damage Taken, Summon Ice Golem, and Immortal Call. You can also get Blood Rage if you want to. I prefer not doing it right away. I prefer waiting with that, but that's the intention later on. Okay, so that's all I had for the skill gems. I think I'm done with those, and so let's move on to the items that we're going to be using, and we'll do that in the next video. I'm going to try to upload this one as fast as possible and get on with the next one. See you in that one.